Right. So how this evening is going to work is that Samantha will go first. I'm not going to brief each and every one of you individually. Y'all hear the briefing enough. Um, but when I connect in with you, we can do one of two styles. We can do spirit led or we can do direct mediumship. You have the privilege of choosing how you want things done. All I'm asking for is that in the moments of me bringing forth the information, that you just give me a clear validation to your understanding of it, a simple yes or a no. If I say something that you can remotely understand, but the way that I've placed it or said along with it is not understandable, in that case, you would just say kind of. I may ask you in the reading to clarify something that's allowed for me to get out of the place of confusion and just stay in with the flow of the spirit. But just stay aware that it's important that you keep your clarification in that moment just short and sweet. Sweater sister, or Billy Bob is uncle, or whatever the case may be. Does that make sense? Fantastic. Does anyone want to say anything before I begin?
I just wanted to know, I'm camping right now. So I
Sure.
just wanted to make sure that it's not loud. I'm outside. I mean, I could go inside my camper, but I have dogs. So,
Yeah, no, I don't hear anything. You're
okay.
you're you're totally fine. You're totally fine. Thank you for asking that, Christy. I greatly
Yeah.
appreciate that. At the end of the reading, for those of you who can stick and stay, I'm available for any questions, and I'm totally open to having those conversations with you all. By the way, you're going to see a timer pop up. Um, and that will just allow for me to stay on time. So we're doing 12-minute reads, 3-minute validations, just to be mindful and respectful of everybody's time to keep it at that 15-minute threshold. If the timer goes off while I'm saying something, I will finish my statement. If the timer goes off while you're saying something in response to things, you can finish your statement, but just speed it up. And we can always talk about it after all the readings are completed during that time that I'll stay on for you all, or you can email me with any further validations as well. So I'm going to ask everyone to mute themselves. Actually, I think I'm able to do that somehow. Post tools, unmute themselves. Let me see what's going on here. I don't know how to do that. So if y'all can mute yourself, that would be great. And Samantha, I'm going to go ahead and pull you up.
Hi.
Hey, hey. So when we connect in for you, do you want to do spirit led or would you like to do direct?
Um, I feel like whenever I do spirit led, it's always the same grandpa that comes through. I
Interesting.
wish you could connect with pets. Um, I think I do direct.
Okay, sure. And first name or relationship?
Patricia.
Patricia, understood, understood. Would Patricia relate over to mom's side?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because I know right off the start, I was getting like mom coming into my awareness is what was going on. And as I search out for Patricia, I feel like I need to recognize her. Having a shorter hairstyle is what's taken place. I do get some texture in there in the sense of some possible curl. I don't feel like I'm recognizing it to be more curly as much as I want to recognize it in a shorter style that may even be cut shorter on the back and sides and a little longer on the top, is what I'm saying. Would you understand that? Where'd you go? Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds
Understood.
just like her.
And, and it's interesting because the way that Patricia shows herself gives me along the same age as mom, but I feel like I need to place Patricia in the way of being older, is what's going on. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. Is she mom's mom, hun?
Yes.
Okay, understood. Because that's what I mean by recognizing her to be older. And I know that when I'm connecting in with her, I start to get this tightness feel that's in my throat, is what's going on. So I don't know if there was a struggle for her to speak or if it was a struggle for breathing, but I do feel like I want to at least acknowledge what feels like a tension in my throat area for herself, is what's going on. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And I'm also aware of the fact that I do feel, and this feels a little generic, there is this recognition around a ring that I do need to acknowledge, and I'm hoping that she's going to clarify where I place that ring. I do also feel like I need to recognize, so Patricia would be grandmother for you. So I feel like I need to recognize a great grandson that would be of importance as well for me to recognize, not in spirit, but here in the world, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
So a great grandson of hers.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Obviously not of yours. That would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Don't assume you to be young, but something tells me you're not a great grandmother. I don't feel confident to say it be your son, but I know that I want to recognize it in the way of a son for you is what's taken place. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And I know that she shows me in the way of holding the baby is what's taken place. So I question whether or not she gets a moment with this child before she passes. It's just not being validated in this moment. I also feel like I need to recognize Patricia in the sense of being someone who would have been very well spoken, in the sense of like, she's not shy. She's not timid. She's not staying as a fly on the wall. She would have spoken her mind. She would have made her opinions known, is what I'm understanding as well. But she doesn't recognize herself in like this strongly opinionated person, is what I'm understanding. And so I know that she would have been someone who would have been compassionate and understanding to others, but she ain't gonna let you go like she ain't gonna let you mess up your life without speaking her mind, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And are you given the chance to sit beside her before she leaves this world?
Yes.
Understood. I know that when you're sitting beside her in this image, I see you with your hand extended over to hers. I also feel very much like this sense of an apology, is what I'm understanding. And when I talk about the apology, there's a feeling around like not having been there enough, not having been with her enough. I feel like you may show up in the later stages of things. There's a sense around that as well, as what I'm understanding. Would you understand that?
Yeah.
Understood. And I know that when I recognize this moment, she gives me this sense about the difficulty for her to communicate back with you at this time, as I understand it. And I do feel like I need to highlight the fact that there's a feeling of her being removed from her home, is what I'm saying. Would you understand that?
Removed from her home when?
I feel very much as though that I want to recognize this to take place towards the end, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
No.
Okay, understood. I know that there is this sense about me needing to recognize, unless she's recognizing the fact that she's not in her own bedroom, I just feel like I need to recognize a difference of location for her, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Understood. And I also feel as though I don't see your mother, but that was weird. I know that when I talk about this moment with you and her, I feel like there's concern being expressed over to your mom, is what I'm saying. Like almost like, is she okay? Is she supposed to be doing this? Like there's a sense of concern, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. Two separate things that I am a little confused on. There is this feeling around like pots and smoking. I don't believe I'm talking about smoking pot or marijuana. I feel like I'm talking like more in the way of kitchen utensil like pots, is what I'm saying. So I don't know what goes on there. If there was a small smoke situation that took place with mom. I don't know what's going on there. I also feel like I need to highlight a pillow, I believe, is what I'm saying. Would you understand that?
Not a pillow.
Understood. There's this feeling like I want to go towards her head and underneath. Now, I'm not even saying her head. I feel like I want to recognize what feels like pillow. If this isn't a pillow, it could very well be a blanket that's folded, but I feel like I want to recognize what's within it, is what I'm saying. Would you understand that at all?
Mm, I don't think so. Not
Understood.
at the top of my head.
Okay, fantastic. My thing is that and my brain is searching for ways to make sense of this. I don't know if there would have been something. I don't feel like I'm recognizing the pillow necessary to belong to her because I really want to recognize the pillow in you, is what I'm saying. And it just feels like I'm being highlighted to the sense of like keeping something under the pillow or keeping something in the pillow. There's this feeling around that, is what's going on. Do you understand that?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay, you can clarify that for me at the end. I know that she brings my awareness to this, is what's taken place as well. I know that when she was highlighting the final moments with you, I felt very much as though that I was getting a sense. And by the way, did she suffer from any issues that would have been either dementia or Alzheimer's related? And I feel like I may need to say Alzheimer's. There's a sense of cognitive emptiness that's coming up. Do you understand that?
Yeah, it would be more on the dementia,
Oh, interesting. Thank you.
like early stages.
Thank you for clarifying that. Just because in the moment where I talk about towards the end and your hand being in hers and this whole holding moment that's taken place, I just get her in the sense of like, looking to the side rather than at you, is what I'm saying. And I don't feel very much as though that there's a lot of communication in this time. But now, that was earlier, right? Now she shows me in the way of her being like propped up in bed, is what's taken place. So, and she says to me that she was able to say what she needed to say before she passed, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Understood. I feel that that's her to say to you that, like, she was able to express her love. She was able to recognize her admiration and appreciation for her family before she gets to a condition where she's not able to, is what I'm understanding. I do see that we are coming up. Oh, good. We still have 3 minutes before the 3 minutes. I saw it was red. Anyhow, I know that there is also this moment where she is handing me in your hand what feels to be a necklace, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
No.
Understood. I do, and I don't necessarily know that I'm recognizing it to belong to her, but I do get this sense around a necklace. And the reason I question whether or not it belongs to her is she never said any mentions of cremation. But I know that with this necklace, I feel like I need to recognize the contents that would belong in it, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Sort of.
Understood. And would you understand the name Mike or Michael?
Mm, she had a brother named Michael or
Under,
Mike. I
under,
I don't know him.
understood. Understood. I don't know if it's Michael that's been cremated. I'm unsure. But I know that as I'm talking about this whole necklace moment, that name starts to come up, is what's going on as well. And would you know if there is another person with that name? If he had like a son or a grandson?
I actually think it would be Saint Michael.
Interesting. Just because of the fact that she makes me feel like I need to recognize Michael here, which is why I asked if there would be another Michael.
No.
Understood, understood. I do feel firmly that I want to recognize that. Um, there's two separate things that just got shouted at me real quick. One is I'm seeing a darker dog. I do believe I'm saying mid-sized dog is what I'm saying. I do feel like I want to relate that with you, is what I'm understanding. I also feel very much as though that I need to recognize yours and mom's relationship. Though I feel like we are still in communication, I want to recognize what feels like there to be tension there, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Tension between me and my mom?
Yes, I believe so.
Um, no tension.
Okay, interesting.
On my end, it all is at
You don't
least.
like your ass. No, I'm kidding.
I'm very close to her.
Then there may have been tension between her and mom, but I do know that I want to recognize tension is what I'm
That
understanding
would be it.
when I highlight your mother. I also am getting a gentleman, as I finish with you, a gentleman stepping through that gives me very much fatherly energy saying hi to you, is what's going on. So I want to give you a chance to clarify what we discussed before I move into the next read.
Okay. So the dog would probably be my beloved dog, Dexter. It was a chocolate lab.
Yeah, laugh. Yeah.
The gentleman at the end is most likely my grandpa that always comes through. I'm very close to him, and I named my daughter after him. And she was born a year after he passed. It was 17 years ago on May 24th that he passed away.
Understood. That cremation is coming back up in my awareness, is what's going on.
So when my grandpa passed away, I asked my grandma if I could have some of my grandpa's ashes, but he was already in the mausoleum. And she said, when she passes away, we could get some of the ashes out because I wanted to put them in a necklace. And then she changed her mind.
Wow. So do you have the necklace, but not the contents?
I don't have either, but my goal was to get a necklace and put his ashes in it.
Okay.
Because he was like a father.
Oh, that's why she handed me the necklace in your hand. Okay, understood. Like as if like you understood the plan.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So the pillow thing, my grandma was very, very Catholic, and she would always put little like cards of like Saint Michael and Mary and everything, and she'd put them under her pillow. So
that's the hell out of here.
And she was very Tyler, stop. She was very outspoken. Like she didn't care really if she hurt your feelings. She still said it nice, but it was still like, Grandma, you could have said that nicer. But she did pass away from lung cancer. And the smoking, she quit smoking maybe 20 years ago, but she passed away from the lung cancer because it lingered. Like what happens when you smoke. So the pot, I think she is referring to smoking pot, like marijuana.
I had a feeling. I was like, is that a weird simple thing going on? What's taking place?
So my grandma was always really against smoking weed, everything like that. But I live in Colorado and it's legal. And when she was 80, she said she wanted to try it. So I got some like chocolate and gave it to her. And she said it didn't work, so she needed more. And it still didn't work for her. But that's what I think the pot is related to.
Understood. Well, I am going to keep things moving. And I thank you so much for taking a moment to clarify that. The last thing I'm going to say to you, and I'm so glad it didn't come up in the reading, but as you were talking, I was reminded of your daughter's birthday. And so I take that as them saying happy birthday and extending that over to her. Okay?
Oh, thank you.
You're so welcome.
He loved my daughter.
I had to write that down too. That's what I was writing.
That's awesome. Thank you, Bucky. If I think of anything else, I'll email it to you.
Sounds wonderful, sweetheart. You stay well, and you'll get this recording emailed to you. If not tonight, because it may take a while, you'll get it tomorrow, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All righty. So I'm going to mute her, and I'm going to move over to Miss... oh, that was Miss Erica who just disappeared. Where'd she go? Oh, there she is. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm doing really well. We're on a nice start. We're having a nice
Good
start. All right, sweetheart. So for you, you do the same way. You get the choice of doing either direct or you can do spirit led.
I'm gonna do spirit led.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. All right. So, I have two separate things that are coming into my awareness that I'm not too certain do connect. If I spoke about an aunt that would be in spirit, would you understand that at all?
Yes.
Understood. And is that being placed on mom's side?
No.
Okay, that's why I wasn't certain about the connect. Understood. Because mom was coming into my awareness first, is what was taking place, and then aunt was coming up into my awareness, is what was going on. Is it correct to say that mom is still here in the world?
No.
Got you. Understood. Understood. And I also feel like I want to talk about a daughter for yourself. Is that right?
Yes.
Understood. Because I know that there's a younger girl that's coming into my awareness, is what's going on in the sense of like here is what's taken place as well. Would you understand if I spoke about either a Rudy, Rudolph, Rude? There's this R name that's coming into my awareness that I believe is more in like the RU, ROO, but RU type range is what I'm saying. Ruth.
Is it a female name?
I believe so, but I wouldn't be upset if it's female or if it's male because
I
I heard Rudolph.
I have a Ralph.
Okay, understood. And is that going older than yourself? Like in the sense of like upper
Yes.
generation, even older than mom? Understood.
No, not older than mom.
Okay, understood, understood. Because I know that I want to recognize that name that comes into the mix as well as what I'm understanding. And I also know, and I believe I'm still recognizing the ant with this, there's a sense around cancer passing that's coming into my awareness. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And I do get this feeling like I want to recognize a necklace of importance. And I question whether or not that may be more so related with mom, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And it's interesting because I'm not seeing it the same way as I saw it earlier in the hand. I feel like I want to recognize it like on the neck is what's taken place as well as I understand. And when I go, as I'm starting to like get taken into a certain range of where I need to stay for a moment, I feel like I need to recognize mom is what's taken place. And I feel like I want to talk about the moments that you were able to spend and share with mom before she leaves this world, is what I'm saying. And I feel like I'm talking about that leading up to the end, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. Would you have had to go see her, like either at a hospital or medical facility?
A few times, but not right before.
Okay, yeah, that's why I like asked it in the way I did as a question. I know in this moment I'm seeing her in a more medical like almost like hospital like facility is what I'm understanding. And I audibly heard this statement, it got really bad. And so I feel like I need to recognize that true for herself is what I'm saying. And I feel like that's, and it may be more my assumption, but I feel like that's her to express more not just how sick she gets, but also how physically ill that she would have gotten, like an appearance, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. But I know that it's all what's more important for me to recognize is the sense of compassion, the sense of dedication and loyalty that would have been there from you, but for mom, is what I'm understanding as well. Which makes me wonder if there may have been problems there within the relationship, or as if like we come closer towards the end than we were before then, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
A, a problem with my mom and I.
Yeah, like either we're
Yeah.
not seeing each other that often or we're not. Okay, understood. I know that she gives it to me in the sense of like, and I just feel firm in this, and I don't want to, you don't need to bend it to fit. But even as I try to drop it, she still pushes it. I just feel very much as though that I need to recognize, understood. She says, say it differently. So if I said to you that there was that it was difficult to be with mom or difficult to get to mom, would you understand that?
No.
Understood. I know that she gives me very much like I want to highlight the sense of dedication and loyalty to her in the way of like you being there, is what I'm
Right.
saying. And it feels very important for me to recognize. And even as I say that, I don't know if there's a moment where we're not able to get to her and then we become more available to her, or you changed your availability so you could be more available to her. There's a sense around this, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Do you understand?
I'm gonna say kind of, because I
Uh,
might know what you're talking about.
Clarify how you would
Oh.
kind of understand.
So when she got sick and it was towards the end, I moved back in with them so I could help take care of her. But I only lived like a mile away before that.
But you would understand the
I
change to make
guess.
yourself more
Yeah.
available.
Okay.
That's
I
a
thought
big
you meant
change,
that
girl.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant like before that, like right before that I wasn't as available. That's
Understood. No, my thing is that
sorry.
she's highlighting your sense of dedication and loyalty to her and recognizing the way that this changes. And
sorry, I misunderstood.
it's not just that we're going to visit with her like we always normally did.
Okay. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
So the fact that you move in with her, that makes all the more sense. I also feel as though that there is a sense of me needing to recognize that around the time of mom's passing, I feel like there would have been a granddaughter for her that would have been here, is what I'm understanding. Do you understand?
No.
Understood. Is there a son also for you?
Mhm.
Okay, understood. Am I supposed to recognize that it be son rather than daughter?
No, neither of my kids were here.
Okay, understood. And there wasn't, if this not a granddaughter through you, would there be another granddaughter for her?
Yes. Yes.
Understood, understood. And would they have been here when she passed?
No.
Interesting. Because I feel very much as though that I'm seeing a younger girl that's being highlighted in the way that I want to recognize her to be near mom before she passes, is what I'm saying. Does that help you understand?
Not really. No. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Would you also understand if I highlighted the month of April? And here's the thing is that if I'm recognizing April, it's not going to be far from either mom or yourself. I question whether or not I'm bringing it more towards you than mom, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Kind of.
Understood, but you do understand the significance around April.
Kind of.
Okay, understood. And would you also understand if I had spoken about, I believe I'm saying a female's name that would be with like J.A.?
Not off the top of my head
Okay.
about that.
I, I feel like I'm saying like either Jan or Jane. There's a name that's coming to my awareness in that way, is what I'm saying. I will
I,
re
I know a Jane, but from a long time ago.
Okay, understood. I feel very much as though that it's connecting with mom, is what I'm saying. And if I'm wrong in it being female, I would take it being male, but I still want to recognize it in the way of like J.A., either
Mhm.
James,
Yes.
it's got to be something
You just
very.
said it.
Okay, cool. Because I hear it like Jane, and she's like giving
Yeah.
me like, she's like wiggle room is what's going on. Um, and my thing is that when she recognizes this person, I feel like I want to go younger than herself, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Kind of.
Okay, understood. We'll clarify that towards the
Okay.
end. And is mom cremated?
Yes.
Okay, because she's bringing up the fact that I want to talk about cremation, and I feel like I need to recognize that you would have some of her ashes, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And is there jewelry connected with that?
Yes.
Okay. I am seeing sometimes spirit doesn't speak straightforward. Sometimes it's more in a way of a metaphor. And sometimes they do crazy shit with their metaphors too. But I am seeing what looks like you playing a record that I feel like I need to discuss in relation with mom, is what I'm saying. So the reason why I want to give myself some wiggle room here, but I don't want to be generic and vague, I feel like I want to possibly make it in the sense of us just playing a song, but I want to recognize the way we would do this with intention in connection with mom, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
I think so. Yeah.
Understood. And it's interesting because the next thing that she brings to my awareness is a way of like celebrating mom and even like her birthday is what I'm saying. Do you understand that at all?
Kind of.
Understood. As I say that, I get brought into a kitchen is what's taken place. And I feel like I want to highlight mom in a sense to be more like a single mom is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
No.
Understood. There is this kitchen that I'm being taken to, and I feel like I need to recognize this sense of mom being on her own in there is what's going on. Would you understand?
Kinda. I guess.
Understood. And you're saying that mom and dad were still married?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, understood. And dad is still here?
No.
Yep, that would be why. So is mom on her own towards the end, or he passes after her?
He passed after her.
Okay, understood, understood. My thing is that I know that mom recognizes the fact that she's on her own, is what I'm understanding too. And is it correct to say that mom may have either been in a coma or was unable to hear at the end?
Yes.
Understood. Because she's highlighting the fact that it's like I want to respect what we had gone through, well, what you had gone through in the sense of as if like we talk to her, we know that she's here, but it's falling on ears that aren't able to respond, is what I'm understanding. Do you understand that?
Yes. Yes.
The last thing I'm going to leave you with is that I get shown an angel in the room, and I question whether or not that is symbolic in the way of a connection with mom and an angel, or if that's literally to say, like, I don't know if she expressed having seen angels or what's going on, but
Uh-huh.
there's this whole angel in the room moment that's taken place. Do you understand?
I think so. Yeah.
Understood. Because I feel like I want to recognize it in the sense of like, I want to go the second way versus the first way.
Can I tell you what it
Yeah, 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 yeah,
was?
yeah, yeah. Oh,
I
wait, I didn't mean to do that. I'm still here.
Where'd you go? So our Christmas was very big in our family, like that was the big to do, and we always had a porcelain angel. It's been in our family for like 30 years, and I finally got it when my dad passed. So I
Okay.
think might be that. I don't know if that's could be if that's the only relation I have to an angel.
Understood. And that would still connect with mom, though, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Understood.
My daughter, before we did this, said, "Is grandma gonna mention me?" And you said it, so that was cool. The record, I think it's every time we traveled to New Hampshire a lot. We would have Billy Joel on the radio and the car all the time. Like that's all we listened to. Me and my mom was Billy Joel together. So I don't know if that was the music.
That would definitely be the music, unless you're doing other things.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what else there was. My aunt also passed from cancer.
Yes, yes. I felt like mom and aunt's passing were similar, is what was going on.
Yeah, they were very close too. We had a duplex. So my aunt and her kids grew up on one side and me and my family grew up on the other side. So it was like a big blended.
She took me to my old childhood home, which this one's a duplex, but she took me to my old childhood home in that kitchen. That was a duplex.
Oh, that's
interesting.
And that was her favorite space too. Like my mom was always sitting in the kitchen drinking her tea. She was always by herself in the kitchen. The rest were, TV and computers. But yeah, you nailed a lot of it.
Understood. So the April connection.
When I said yes right away, I was like, no, it's not April. She died at the very end of March. But it was like 2 weeks before, it was a day before Easter. So I always get confused between March and April when I think of her death date. But they did have an anniversary in April, my parents.
Understood. That would make sense. And in April, no, it didn't come up around the time of father. You'll have to go back to watch the recording. I think it came up a few moments.
I try so hard to listen that I'm like, I forget one thing.
That's okay. And also, if you could just confirm the J.A. James name.
My dad is James.
Gotcha.
That's what I was like, you said it.
Understood. That's really interesting because I gotta be real with you. When I was talking about the younger girl, that's when that name was coming up.
My son has James as his middle name.
Interesting.
I don't know if that works, but I
Interesting.
have to think of a girl. I can't think of a J.A. girl.
Okay,
off the top
understood.
of my head.
Understood. Well, thank you so much for confirming
you.
that. Anything else that you can, you're certainly welcome to email me on, okay?
Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, so I'm going to move over to, oh, thank you for muting yourself, by the way. Miss Leah, are you able to come front and center?
I'm here.
Oh, I can barely hear you, sweetheart.
Oh no.
I hear you much better now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm here.
All righty, sweetheart. So, when I connect in with you, you have the choice of doing direct mediumship or we can do spirit led. How would you like to do yours?
Let's do spirit led.
Fantastic, fantastic. So when I connect in, I am getting a mention around father. Father is what's going on. Would there be a father figure for you in spirit?
Yes.
Okay, understood. And I also feel like I need to recognize sister. There's a sister that's being highlighted as what's taken place. I don't feel like I'm talking about in spirit when I say sister, but I do feel like I want to recognize a sister for yourself. Would that be right?
Yes.
Understood. And would you understand? That could be one or two ways. Would you understand if dad recognized a B name? Not so much to be his name, but in relation with him.
Well, yes.
Understood. I feel like I don't know if that person has a nickname or there's a shorter way of saying his name, but there's like this bit that comes into my awareness in that sense. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. Um, I also feel like I need to recognize what feels like drinking of it feels like beer is what's taken place, but I feel like I want to talk about like the use of alcohol is what I'm saying. And I question whether or not alcoholism may have been a struggle for dad.
No, I wouldn't say so. No.
Okay, I don't know if that's true for the B name, but I know that there is this sense of me needing to recognize what feels like drinking. And I do feel like I still, even right as I was trying to move forward with that or sit it there, he still makes me feel like I need to recognize that for himself. So would you know of dad to have been a drinker?
Maybe in his younger years, like when I was a child, but not not in the recent 20 years, I'd say.
Okay.
25.
Okay, understood. And do know that I say it to be beer rather than liquor because it's I mean more on a beer range is what's taken place. Also, if I said that you were able to sit beside Dad before he leaves the world, do you understand that?
No.
Understood. I'm being brought into a room where I feel like I want to recognize yourself. Now, as you're aware, sometimes spirit can symbolically show me my sitter, but it be like their sister or whatever. But I feel like I need to recognize the female that is sitting in the room. And I'm getting this sense as if like dad wasn't able to talk or communicate in the end, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Understood. And I also feel like there's this sense of me needing to recognize the sense of quickness, the way the rapid decline takes place for him, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Understood. Respectfully, I feel like I want to say that your dad was unexpected of this as well and may even have been a little hard-headed or stubborn.
Yeah.
Understood. Just because the fact that he's like, well, I didn't even know this. Like he gives me this feeling of like shock even for himself is what's going on. I want him to come a little closer because I'm just getting images, but I don't feel his energy. Okay. As I say that, he's drawing my attention to a hand is what's going on. And I feel like I want to recognize this hand to contain mom's ring is what's going on. Would you understand that?
No.
Understood. Is mom also in spirit, hon?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. And you wouldn't understand if I recognized like either yourself or because it's the same female that I'm seeing, I'll say sister, but there being a connection with a ring.
No, I don't think so. My daughter just asked me 2 nights ago what happened to my mother's ring. I
Interesting.
don't know. I don't think my sister has it. I said, I think it went with her.
Understood. If you would check in that, I would greatly appreciate it. But I am seeing it in the way of a female that I want to recognize on your level, is what I'm saying. And I see it in the way of mom's ring, which tells me that mom's in spirit. Um, I am also getting shown what looks like a necklace with a pendant that's giving me more like flat is what's taken place. And because I keep getting this image that's you, but you're not understanding that, I'm gonna say sister as well. But I feel like I need to recognize this pendant necklace like, and I don't want to box myself in, but it's giving me flat in the sense of like dog tag is what's going on. Does that make any sense to you?
Kinda.
Understood. Clarify your kind of.
A flat necklace. My niece, that I'm extremely close to, and she was extremely close to my parents. She has like an infinity necklace with my mom's ashes in it, but it's pretty flat.
Understood. Understood. Do you know if she like puts that up by her mouth at all?
Possibly.
Okay, because the way that I see it is like someone like almost kind of like gnawing at it or like putting it by their lips is what's taken place as well as what's going on. And interestingly enough, I'm being brought back to that same image that I had seen earlier, and it is being highlighted as being you is what's taken place. But now I'm getting a sense as if I want to question being with mom is what's taken place. Do you understand that?
I think I'm a little confused on what you're saying.
Are you able to sit by mom in a moment where she's not able to communicate?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm being brought back to that same image of you as what's going on and feeling as if like we need to sit by mom, but mom's not able to communicate, engage, or anything of that nature is what's taken place. Like I feel like I need to say possibly even in a coma or something more deeply sedative is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Understood. I'm being brought to the coast as well. I will tell you that I heard it in the way of, I saw it in the way of Florida, but I heard a no, is what's going on. So, would you understand that I need to recognize the ties and connections to the East Coast?
With my mom or dad? That's
Well,
what
it's
I'm
your dad
confused.
that's communicating with me, so
Okay, then yes, with him, yes.
understood, understood. And is it wrong to say Florida? It's right to say East Coast?
It's Florida.
Oh, interesting. Um, because as I'm seeing Florida, and I literally see like some school map type thing is what's going on. I'm getting this sense of like drop in the way of no. So I guess that's to say you didn't get to Florida. But there is this drop in no is what's taken place as well as I understand. As I say that, I'm seeing you again, except this time I'm seeing you with like a ponytail is what's taken place. And I'm
Hmm.
asking them why that is. Because my very first immediate response was like to recognize it in the way of like a hair tie or a scrunchie or something that would hold the hair together of importance. And I get this sense of no is what's being said to me. Um, but there is I don't know why, and I'm sorry to give you something so vague, a generic. But there is this sense for me to highlight you with the ponytail, is what I'm saying. Does that make any sense to you at all?
No.
Okay. Well, that's what they're showing me. Would you understand me to recognize there is a book that's being shown to me that I feel like I need to recognize the way that this would have a lot of people in it, is what's going on. And I don't think I'm recognizing like a phone or a photo album, is what I'm saying. So I don't want you to take it in that way. But I do feel like I want to recognize like, and I get this sense of to drop like, no, I don't want to go there. But I know that we would go to this book in the sense of like getting information for people or getting information about people, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
No.
Understood. I feel like I want to recognize that in its importance around dad, is what I'm saying. Does that make any sense to you?
No.
Understood. And right as I say that, I'm getting brought to my hand, is what's going on, and making me feel like I need to recognize a tattoo that I locate there. Now, I'm not confident that I'm placing that on you, but I am confident in that you would know who that belongs to.
Yes.
Understood. And would you understand that they seem to place it more on the hand than on the arm?
Yes.
Understood. Um, And would you understand that dad be the one that's recognizing it? Though I'm not certain, I don't believe it connects to dad, is what I'm saying.
Well, I was thinking it was him.
Understood. So that's just, you all are funny. That's my assumption. But I know that dad is the one that's making me aware of it, is what's going on. So are you understanding that to relate to dad?
Yes.
Understood, understood. Because I know that it feels very much as though that I want to recognize it by dad. I just am not seeing it to say who it actually belongs to, and he's not giving me a sense like that's my tattoo or that's for me. Like there's just this need for me to recognize it is what's going on. And did you attend dad's service?
Yes.
Understood, because he's bringing me back to you on your question or your inability to be with him, but makes me feel very much as though that I need to recognize it in a way of service is what's taken place. And I also feel like I'm standing outside when I recognize that for him is what's going on. Would you understand?
Yes.
Understood. I want to give you a chance to clarify some of the details before I move forward.
Okay. The tattoo, he had a cross that was between his thumb and pointer finger in that little web area there.
Understood.
So it was small, but it was there.
Understood.
My dad was promoted from Michigan to Florida to be a cook for the Detroit Tigers at their spring training camp. So he spent a good 5 years or so in Florida.
Okay.
My mom was from North Carolina though. So I was thinking maybe she was
Yeah, that makes
speaking
sense
through
why I was
there.
getting this sense of a note that was coming up.
But he was also a truck driver. So he went long distance hauls. He'd be gone 3 weeks at a time.
Understood.
So it's possible he could have drove over there. Um, he had pancreatic cancer, so he died fast, like fast.
Right.
And Thursday, he was at a baseball game. He was gone on Saturday. He did not want his kids there. So,
You said he was at a baseball game?
yes, on Thursday.
That was relevant. Yo, for a moment there, I literally saw someone swinging a bat, and I'm like, what the hell is that about?
Well, I got him those tickets, so that's probably why.
Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it.
Yep. So yes, he was at the baseball game. That's how fast it happened. Thursday, he was alive and pretty well. Saturday, he had the death rattle and was gone in an hour.
Understood.
And it was his wish not to have the kids there, so we were not there.
Understood.
Yes, I do have a sister. She's very much a daddy's girl, so I'm not surprised that that was the first thing mentioned. Um, Trying to think what else there was. The necklace I had already explained. I think that's it.
Understood. Well, I thank you for taking a moment to clarify some of those details. And if you can get back to me on any other things that you seem not to understand, I would. Oh, yeah. What was that B name that was coming up?
My son, Benjamin,
Oh, gotcha,
or we
gotcha,
call him Benny for short.
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. And what was the I'm trying to think. There was something else that I don't think that you were able to. Oh, yes. Didn't I make a mention of a ring?
Yes, you asked where my mother's ring was, or
Yes. And are you
if my
saying
dad
that's
had my mom's ring.
you're saying that's nowhere to be found?
I thought she was cremated with it, but I don't know. There's a good possibility one of my sisters has the ring. And
Interesting. I would
it
love
was
to know if
funny
you
because my daughter just asked me about her ring, like
interesting,
literally 2 nights ago.
interesting, interesting. Well, definitely stay in touch with me about any more that you make sense of, okay?
Okay. And
Thank
as
you.
I rewatch it, I'm sure something else will come up.
Sounds good, sweetheart. You stay well.
All right. Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Alrighty, we're gonna go on over to Miss Isa. Miss Isa. Now, sweetheart, you're a note taker, but I'm gonna ask you not to be taking notes for this one. You will get the recording, you can take your notes then. And it is important that when you're getting read, whether it be from me or any medium, that you stay away from taking notes just because it can throw you into a very focused mind away from focusing on what needs to be validated or recognized. So, Miss Aisa, before we begin, are we doing spirit led for yourself or are we doing direct mediumship?
Spirit led.
Okay, fantastic. So I do just want to be very transparent here. I am aware that it was your aunt who just recently passed. Is that right?
Yes.
Understood, understood. And I question whether or not that's the direction I'm going, but we're about to find out. So I also feel like when I recognize aunt, I feel like I want to talk about I believe that aunt is on mother's side. Is that right?
No, not the one that recently passed.
Good. Because your dad keeps coming. That's why I just made that face. I was like, as I was wanting to talk about on mom, your dad kept getting highlighted over and over again as what was taking place. Um, And I feel very much as though that I need to recognize either a Barbara, there's this Barb name that's coming up. If it's a name that sounds like, I won't be mad.
Hmm. Not that I can think of right off the bat.
Understood. In the moment of me saying that,
Oh,
they're reminding me that there could be another side to this is what's going on, which I question whether or not that B name may connect with husband's side as opposed to your own. Do you understand?
well, when you her name, can I tell you her name? Is that okay?
Yes.
It's Annabelle is her
And
name.
oh, interesting, interesting. You're saying Annabelle could be the B for Bell. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna take that. I'm not gonna take that. But I do question whether or not that female B name that's coming to my awareness may connect over on husband's side. If you're comfortable to ask him on that, that would be appreciated. If not, I respect it. But there is that moment that I feel like I need to or there is that bit that comes to my awareness that I feel like I need to recognize. I am also getting this mention around ashes that's coming into my awareness. And then all of the sudden I see what's it called? The German Shepherd that I already know that you have. So I don't know if I'm recognizing ashes of a dog or what's going on. But I am getting ashes, and then I'm seeing the dog that you've shown me in a picture, which you have. It's like a dog that you currently have. Is that to say that there's ashes for a dog that's also a German Shepherd?
There's ashes with the dog that's a German Shepherd. Yes. If that makes all, yeah. Mhm.
Interesting. So you can't understand the connection.
I can.
Very interesting. So that's the difficulty in reading things that I know, is because my bias wants to step in and make it something that it's not. But I want to keep going.
Mhm.
I very much keep getting this feeling like I want to recognize mom. Mom is what's taken place. And I feel that your mother is still here in the world. Is that right?
Yes.
Understood. And when I talk about mom, I'm seeing a lady that's giving me a much lighter hair color is what's taken place. And I want to talk about it in this more curlier type way is what's going on. Not at the scalp, but in this more curly, like mid-neck length type way is what's going on. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And I question whether or not she connects in with mom is what I'm saying. Would you understand that?
Yes. With mom. Yes.
Understood. Understood. That's not the description for mom though, right?
I mean, probably now, yes, but it's for her mom.
Yeah. Well, I just am saying I don't feel like your mom's got the like lighter colored
No,
hair.
not
Understood.
unless she
Understood.
wants it to be.
But but I know that I am getting very much the female that comes forward with this curlier, lighter, much lighter than yours color hair is what's taken place. Oh my God, everyone and their mother literally wants to make a mention of rings. There is this ring that is coming into my awareness is what's going on. I feel like I want to highlight that so much with you than anyone is what I'm understanding. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And then I also get shown this picture that is being placed up on the wall. And I question whether or not this would be something that's within your home for her, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
It's what I've been thinking about doing. So yeah.
I want to go further than this.
Mhm.
I want to go further than this. Um, so I don't see her in the picture, and I got to be honest with you. As I see this picture frame situation that's going on, it's giving me very much like spiritual, like almost like in a clouds type, but not in a regular clouds, blue sky kind of color is what's going on. So I don't know if I'm supposed to make a mention of a more spiritual like picture, what has taken place, but I feel like I want to recognize this for yourself is what's going on. And by the way, are you like, oh, well, I don't want to be disrespectful. Would you connect in with Catholicism?
Yes.
Okay. Because there's an element around this picture that while I see it in a more spiritual sense, I feel like I want to talk about like Catholicism is what I'm saying. Do you understand that at all?
I don't know about the picture frame yet, but Catholicism, yes, it's all that side of the family. Yes.
Very interesting. And is there something that would be in your house that's framed that would have a connection like that?
No.
No. I don't want to box myself in, but I'm going to go further. So I feel like I want to recognize this more in the hallway is what's going on.
can't think of anything right now.
Very interesting. Okay, I'm gonna shelf it, and if it gets brought back up, it gets brought back up. But I'm going in one of two ways with this. Either this is in the hallway, or there is like a prayer room or a special room, spirit room, whatever, that I would place this in. But I do feel like I'm in the hallway, looking in the direction of it, just not seeing it, so to speak, is what's going on. There is a male that is coming into my awareness as well as what's going on. And he's giving me very much father energy is what's taken place. But I feel like your father would be here in the world. Is that right?
Yes.
Understood. Would you understand a male that wants to be recognized more like father in spirit?
Yes.
Understood. And I don't believe I'm recognizing him in the sense of like going to the grandfather level, is what I'm saying. Am I wrong there?
Yeah, that's probably the only person,
Okay.
grandpa, that I would recognize.
There wouldn't be a father-in-law?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay, understood. Because he gives me very much like father is what's taken place when I recognize him. I'm not going to dismiss him from being grandfather, but I know that when he passes, I see him with a head of hair is what's taken place. Do you understand that?
Mhm. I have an uncle, and he had a
I
head full of.
appreciate your willingness to make it to place it, but I want to allow for him to go
Okay.
further with the evidence is what I'm saying. I also heard I believe like an AL name is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
That's the uncle.
Understood. So he would be on father's level. He's just not understood because he's treating you as if he not you're his daughter. That's why I know your dad's still here, but treating you in that same respect as if you would with a daughter is what I'm saying, as well as what's going on. And he also presents himself in a way that gives me like a very well put together kind of guy, is what I'm saying. Like I just don't feel like he shows up. He comes dressed for the occasion, is what I'm saying, as well as what's going on. And as I say that, I hear mom getting brought back up into my awareness is what's going on. I also feel like I need to recognize that when he passes, there's a sense around um, the rapidness of his passing, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Oh, the uncle, yes.
Understood. I don't want to blame him, but I want to blame him, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Uh, Possibly.
Understood. He's just giving me this sense, and I may be recognizing something else that he's acknowledging, but there
Mhm.
is this sense of me needing to recognize a passing that I even feel like I want to talk about, like being pew pew related, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Not with him, no.
That's why I said, I literally said, like, I feel like I may be recognizing something else that's away from him. Do you understand that?
I'd have to think about it.
Okay. You wouldn't know of anyone in spirit that's passed due to
Yes, yes, yes. I do know somebody that
okay.
has passed with that. Yes.
Would
Yes.
your husband also know this person?
No.
Okay. There's a male on husband's level that I feel like they would also know this person, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
On husband's level.
So I'm sorry, I should say on your level because you and
Okay.
husband are
Yeah.
on the
Well, yes, absolutely, yes.
understood, understood. Just because I'm being shown a male that I want to place on that level is what's taken place. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. Now I can say the Annabelle is coming into my awareness, is what's going on. All of a sudden, I started hearing what sounded like Isabel, and I'm like, wait, there, that may be Annabelle. And would she have also had a curlier textured hair too?
Natural, no. But
towards the end, would you know that to be correct for her?
At the end, she didn't, but at one point, I mean, my aunts would change their hair all the time, but
Okay.
majority of her life, it was kind of like straight.
Understood, understood. So I might be recognizing still the same lady that I was acknowledging. It just looks more grayer now than it looked lighter, as it did earlier. But
That would make
there's a sense of irrationalism that's coming up when I see her, which makes me feel like she might have gotten a bit neurotic or crazy, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
I do.
Understood. And as I say that, I feel like I want to thank you for having been there, is what's going on. Do you understand? And that's not to say you were there in the sense of like having helped her, but she makes me feel like I need to recognize the active place that you would have been with her, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. I want to give you a chance to clarify the information before I move on.
Well, beautiful that you said Isabel. Isabel is her name, my grandmother, and I was extremely close to her. Yeah.
Understand.
Isabel was an aunt that just recently passed.
And Isabel was the lady with the curlier hair. Understand.
Yes. My grandmother looked like she was a Spaniard, and she had beautiful honey colored eyes and this like red coppery hair. So did not look anything like me at all. So
Got you, got you. Did that white out for her towards the end?
yes, all completely white at the end. Yes.
Got you. Because I was like, I'm sorry, no disrespect. This is me and my racial profiling. I'm like, what? Why do I have this lady
She
with
looked straight up like a white lady. Okay, that's what she looked like. I'm like, yeah, that's my grandmother, and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's my
Thank you for saying that. Because I was thrown off, girl.
She looked straight up just not like us at all. But her name was Isabel. She did have curly hair. She ended up getting dementia, so that's my grandma. The German Shepherd, we had a German Shepherd that died horribly on us one night. Super sick baby girl, was just always sick. But I had a pug when I met my husband. When he died, he was 19 and I cremated him, which my husband is completely against cremation. So we kind of like fought, but I was just like, no, if I move, I have to have him with me. I was just being crazy, but I kept him with me. And then when Sadie died, the German Shepherd died, we had gotten her together. She died. We buried her at a pet cemetery, and I stuck Ozzy with Sadie. So that's why it all comes together. So
wow.
yes. And then my uncle, Albert, Albert, his name is Alberto. He would always call me Mija, which in Spanish is my daughter. So, and that was the nickname that he would call me. We were not super close, but that's what he behaved like a dad, definitely. Full head of hair. He got really sick and ended up in hospice and became like my father and him became super close when they weren't, naturally before. They were big age gap.
Okay.
But always very well dressed, Mr. GQ. I had a cousin who committed suicide, and he did shoot himself when he was in high school, but he would be our age right now. Or
what side of family is he on?
Mom's side.
So he's on mom's side. Because remember I heard mom, and then all of a sudden he started getting shown to me as what was going on.
Yeah. But then I'll ask my husband about a male on his side. That one I don't know, but I'll ask him.
I don't think you need to ask husband. I don't think you need to ask husband. That was the moment when I was recognizing the one who takes their life.
Yes.
Yes, that was because of the fact that I was feeling like I needed to place him on like beside you, not as a brother, but like
I
so
see.
it's like maybe it's connected with husband rather than you.
Yeah. Oh, and the wedding ring. My mother attempted to give me my grandmother Isabel's wedding ring when she passed, and I wouldn't take it because I was afraid I would lose it. And here recently, I'm like, I want her ring. Like, I need to put it somewhere safe. I feel like I'm an adult now.
I want you to check with the whole picture for me. Don't make it something, but I'd love to know about that. Also, when Isabel was thanking you towards the end, I don't so much, I mean, I feel like it was thanking you for having been there physically, but more so in the sense of like, even as if like we may be connecting with her or we're on the mediumship level is what's going on. So I feel strongly like I want to recognize her appreciation to go two separate ways. Just to be very clear and candid with how I was getting that, okay?
Mhm. And Bucky, behind that, with my grandmother, I was extremely close to her, but when she got dementia, it was my own like guard that I put up, and I just completely cut off talking to her because it hurt that she couldn't recognize me. So it's a lot of guilt that I carry with her because I'm like, oh, I wasn't there, you know, towards the end because it just hurt too much for her not to recognize me.
That's
Constantly
I had
saying,
a strong feeling you weren't there, and I got to keep
yes,
things moving, but that's
yeah.
exactly why I just said what I said to you, because she was thanking you more so in the way of like connecting with her and your place with her now than
Yes.
then. So
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said that, because that was exactly what I was feeling in that moment. But thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alrighty, so I've gotten Leah. I have not gotten to Kennedy. I have not gotten to Patty, and I have not gotten to Christy. I just want to make sure that for all three of you, that you two are good on time and no one needs to like rush off or anything like that. I just want to make sure I got to anyone who needed to take care of children's. All right, so I'm gonna go over to Christy real quick. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? I'm going to
I'm
start
good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. So I'm going to go ahead and start the timer for you. Gosh, are we really going to go over time? So Christy, you have the same choice. We can do spirit led or we can do direct mediumship.
I'll do spirit led.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so I'm just going to start talking because I'm not getting any clarity as of right now as what's going on. So there is a young girl that is being shown to me, and I'm not recognizing her in the sense of uh, here as a daughter or in spirit is what's going on. But she is showing me what looks like a weird, like little girl's frilly dress type situation is what's going on. I do have a grandmother who is stepping forward for you. And right as I recognize her, I feel like she may have been a smoker in life, is what I'm saying. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. Sorry, my biases is like, I don't want to connect with her because grandmothers are always in spirit. As I say that, there is I don't know if I'm recognizing this in the sense of the month, or if it's a name, but I'm hearing what sounds like June being said to me. Do you understand that? And if you are going to understand it in the way of a month, I do want to place it in a closer fashion than just any old family member, is what I'm saying. Also, would there be a male that would make sense for me to recognize being on father's level but in spirit?
Mm. Not that I can think of right now.
Understood. And in the midst of me saying that, and are you able to understand the June?
Not right now. No.
Okay, understood. In the midst of me saying that, there is a mention around a sister that's coming up into my awareness. And then right as I say that, there is this male that's coming back into my awareness again and still recognizing him very much like dad is what's going on.
Like, could it be my sister's dad?
Is your sister's dad in spirit?
Yes.
And that would be why I was talking about your sister?
Yep. Yep. Okay.
We ain't gonna take it away from him. He's getting me there. He's getting me there. I'm like, I'm definitely talking about this sister, and he continues to say he's
I'm on the
dead.
phone.
And I even question, I'm like, could this have been like a stepfather for you? There's definitely like that's coming into my awareness is what's going on. I know that when he passes, I don't feel him to be very old, is what I'm saying. So I would say at oldest, I'd place him in his 60s, but I question what I actually feel like he may have even been younger than that, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
He was in his 60s.
Okay, understood. I know that he comes to me in a way that doesn't give me, and he may even been in his personality, but he gives me like this not elderly kind of way about him is what's going on. Like I feel like he even had a head of hair. It's interesting because he shows me in the way of having a head of hair, but he makes me feel this resistance when I say that. So I question whether or not that's how he's choosing to show himself. And then right as I say that, I am getting this feeling like I need to recognize importance around the heart is what's going on. Do you understand that?
Um,
Um,
I don't know.
your arm is up, by the way. Your arm is up like by your face. But I'm getting placed like a tattoo that I feel like I want to go to the arm is what I'm saying. And I don't know if that's true for your sister. But I feel like I need to recognize the importance around a tattoo that gets placed on the arm below the wrist area, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
No.
Ooh, I feel like you should. I feel like you should. That's okay. That's okay. We'll wait on this. We'll wait on this. By the way, would you understand if I talked about a younger male that would be in spirit as well?
Yes.
Understood. I don't know if this was a relationship for you, but there's like a younger male that I want to recognize in the way of relationship type way is what's going
Yes.
on. And when I say relationship, I don't think I'm talking about a brother. I think I'm talking about a partner, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. That wrist tattoo doesn't tie in with him?
No.
Interesting. I feel like you should know what that is. I feel like you should know what that is. And is there a daughter for yourself, hon?
Yes.
Understood. Because I feel like that's being highlighted as well as what's going on. But I do talk about daughter in the way of being here is what's going on. Is that right?
Yes.
And with the partner, did you all, you and him did not share the daughter, is that correct?
No.
You're saying no in agreement with me, correct?
Yeah. We
Okay,
didn't.
cool. Cool. There is a feeling like I want to recognize a son also, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
I don't have a son. No.
Is that true for him?
Yes.
Cool. Because I feel like I want to recognize the daughter for you, but he's making a mention of a son and
Okay.
also talks about the fact that we not share kids is what's taken place.
Yep.
And here's the thing is, why do you have to be a damn camper, girl? I don't know if y'all camp together, but I keep getting like wanting to bring myself in front of the damn camper. So I'm gonna place it, sit it, and leave it, is what I'm saying. But there is this feeling like I do want to go there. Hey, by the way, another thing that was coming up is a heart. And I feel like I want to recognize the heart in the way of jewelry, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Mm. No.
You
I don't
should.
think so.
I feel like I want to go even further to recognize it in a way that it would possibly be like a locket, is what I'm saying. Do you understand? And it
No.
does, that part of things doesn't need to connect to him because that felt like it was being popped into my head, but not in a way that I wanted to give it to him
Okay.
or that he was taking it.
I do have a heart necklace, but it's not a locket.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. But you understand the importance of me recognizing that heart necklace.
Yeah.
Understood. So what I mean by that is we didn't like go on down to the store and buy that heart necklace just because we liked hearts. They would have a spiritual connection or a connection with spirit is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And that does not relate to him though, is that right?
No,
Understood. And you're not wearing that now, right?
no.
Good. Good, because I got thrown to your neck. That's what was taking place.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm all the more glad that they gave me the shape and not just a necklace.
Yeah.
But there's a need for me to recognize that is what's taken place as well. Uh, your mom is being recognized too, is what's going on. And I'm not confident to talk about mom being in spirit. But I definitely do get mom coming into my awareness as what's going on. And then I also get this feeling like I want to recognize. So I just need to clarify things. Is mom still here?
Yes.
Good. I do feel like, by the way, remember that grandmother that was coming up earlier?
Yes.
I do feel like I want to recognize her and mom to connect is what's
Yes.
taking place.
Yep.
And I'm seeing you in the way of sitting in the room. And I feel like I need to highlight that to say that we went and saw her. We went and spent time with her, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. I don't feel that she's able to communicate in that time. Is that right?
Yes.
Understood. Um, is there a jewelry that would contain ashes also?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Understood. Is that not connected with the grandmother?
It is.
Good. Because I'm like, why is this coming up? But as I'm speaking to her, and she's not showing me the jewelry, but she's making me feel like I need to talk about ashes and jewelry as well, is what's going on.
But
I
it
don't
also
believe that's the heart, is it? That's not the heart,
no,
right?
no.
Good.
But it also does for the male too. I don't know.
Oh, you're saying
Partner.
there's another jewelry situation
Yeah.
that would connect with the mail?
Hmm.
Understood, understood. Did I just hear you say nephew?
No.
Okay. I could have sworn I just heard you say nephew, so I don't know if that's important because sometimes I hear things that sounds like it comes from you, but in all actuality, it's them highlighting something. Going back. Oh, yeah. Didn't I say June to you?
Yes.
Okay. I believe I'm recognizing a name. And I think I may need to go like Jude, Judy, something in that range.
No.
It's connecting with your grandmother, and your mother is still here, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to check with mom on that because I feel very much as though that the Judy connects in with the grandmother is what I'm understanding as well as what's going on.
Okay.
But I know more than anything that there is a sense of lack of having been able to spend time around grandmother before she passes. And I also want to recognize the frustration that we
Yes.
felt because as
Yes.
I see you, I see attitude.
Yes. Yep.
And I know that she recognizes it, but let me give you a chance to speak.
Okay. So I don't speak to my mother. And that was the frustration. I didn't go up and see my grandmother while she was in the hospital because my mother was there. And she would have caused just drama. So, but I took care of my grandma right before she died. So, I took care of her. And then when she went to the hospital, I couldn't go up there because of my mom.
I mean, I could vape on here, but
And then the partner, his name, we called him Jeter. I don't know if that would be like the June. I don't know. But he actually killed himself.
yeah.
So by drowning. So yeah, that's and my sister, her dad died of cancer. But I'm trying to think what else there was.
When you say drowning, would that have been something that would have been like outdoorsy kind of?
Yes.
That's why I
Yeah.
kept getting brought out to that camper situation that was going on.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Interesting,
Yep.
interesting. And you
So,
said, I'm sorry, your sister?
yeah, my sister's dad, we have different dads. He died of cancer. But I can't think of the tattoo. But my daughter, you brought up my daughter. My daughter's a tattoo artist. So I don't know if that was maybe, and she has tattoos all over the place. So,
Check what's on her wrist for me. Check what's on her
okay.
wrist.
Okay.
And just ask her, say, do you have anything that honors someone that's, and I mean, I'm getting like wrist area. Sometimes I'll see it here and it's actually on the forearm rather than the underarm or whatever that part's called.
Yeah. Okay.
But definitely check on that for me because I appreciate the insight on what that would be.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Much love over to you,
Thank
sweetheart.
you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Stay well.
You too.
All right, so I'm going to move over to Miss Patty. Kennedy, I'm sorry, girl, but Patty was like the first one in here, and I'm like, damn, if she ain't gonna be the last one to get a reading. Let me go ahead and unmute you, sweetheart.
You know I don't mind.
All righty, Miss Patty. So we're going over to you, hon. Where are you hoping to go, or how would you like to do your reading?
Spirit led, please.
Fantastic. Okay, so I definitely have a male that's coming forward to me as what's going on. There's also this feeling like I want to talk about the ashes that you would have, I believe, there with you, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
No.
Understood. I feel like I literally get brought like to what feels like an altar is what's going on. So I don't know if that's to say there would be something of his at an altar, or I recognize it in the way that I want to talk about like ashes is what's going on. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah.
Understood. I am also getting this sense of me needing to recognize, and Patty, I got to be honest with you, I believe you already told me this, but is there a son for you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Does he have a J name?
No.
Okay. I want to recognize like a either James or Jimmy. There's like a JM name that's coming to my awareness. Do you understand that?
No. I have a brother, John.
Okay, understood. And would your dad be in spirit?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because this man makes me feel like I need to recognize the son with the J name is what's going on. And I feel like, forgive me for my misunderstanding of your son, but I know that I need to recognize the son that would have the J name is what I'm understanding. And I do believe that that's where I tie in this sense of the altar or having something there and tied in connection with him is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And is there also a tattoo in relation to dad?
My daughter has it, not me, but
Oh,
yes.
that's okay. That's why I said I didn't even say what part of the body it was. Because he's making me feel like I need to recognize the tattoo, but in honor of him is what I'm understanding as well as what's going on. He gives me a sense around his passing being very quick is what's taken place, but he's giving me this sense of like, and I don't know if this is more metaphorical, but he gives me like a like he
Yes.
gives me like this
Yes.
almost kind of like a coughing tightness feel that's going off in my awareness as well as I understand it. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So he just showed me a picture that I feel like I want to relate to him. He's also talking about it in the way of a paper is what's going on, but then goes on to say no. And I am also seeing all of a sudden that picture gets altered in remember or I don't know, not remember. Have you ever seen those photos of people that were taken back in like the early 1900s where there was color to them, but they were murky. They were almost kind of like blurry, cloudy, kind of is what I'm saying.
Yes. What you're talking about.
I am getting this whole photo thing that's being shown to me as well as what's going on. Would you understand that?
I do.
Is that connected in with him?
Yes.
Interesting. Because the way I want to read it is to say this be grandfather.
They both have it. So yeah.
Okay, understood. And would that grandfather had been prior service?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And that doesn't ring true for dad, correct?
He is definitely prior service.
Okay, then that understood. Because I know that as I'm wanting to recognize this picture and pick it up about the dad, but also grandfather, there's this feeling around like military that's going off as well as what's going on. Now, where I am not understanding is the fact that I feel like I want to recognize this whole like newspaper situation. Um, And as I lean into it, all of a sudden I get this sense of feeling around like emergency in the way of like EMT firefighters, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. I don't know if this was put in the paper. What is going on? Are you
I
understanding?
know 100%.
Okay. Um, Patty, I'm aware of you being in Philly. Would Dad
Yeah.
have also been?
Yes.
Okay, because I am being brought to some Philly street right now, and I'm like, that is definitely giving me Philadelphia is what's going on. Um, Now my brain is fixated on that row home situation that's going on. If I recognize that dad either lived in a row home or had a second or third floor apartment, would you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. Is it right if I say that it be apartment?
It was a row home.
It was a row home. Understood. Understood. I just know that he's bringing me up to the top floor is what's going on. I'm getting brought like to the window of the second floor is what's going on too. Does dad pass in his bedroom?
Yes.
Gotcha. I had a feeling that that's why I was getting brought. I'm outside the home. Um, and I shouldn't assume it. I should just say you understand the importance of the upstairs window that's giving me bedroom feel. Let's go back over to him. I'm also getting, I just got a snapshot of what felt like either a belt or belt buckle. That doesn't feel right. There's certainly like this clothing accessory that I feel like I need to highlight of importance is what's going on. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And all of a sudden, I'm getting this mention. It's like dad's talking through a speaker, is what's taken place. And I'm going to tell you symbolically what's being shown to me. Or no, I'm going to tell you what's being shown to me, what symbolically I feel like it may be. I'm being shown what looks like someone talking through a megaphone. And I feel like it's likely to say that uh, there's a need for me to recognize his voice by speaker as opposed to his actual voice. So I question whether or not there may be a recording held of him. Something to that extent is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
I'm going to say this, Patty. I also feel like I need to say that you weren't given the chance to be able to speak to dad before he passes, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
No.
Understood. There's a deeper meaning behind this whole speaker situation. Did he call you before he passed?
No, but I know what it is.
Okay. My thing is that I feel like I want to recognize the way that it feels like an alternative method of communication is
Yes.
what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. I also know that I want to recognize how much Dad and you were close.
Yep.
And at least I want to recognize how much Dad loves you, is what's going on. The moment that I recognize the closeness there, there's a drop that is felt, as if to say, Dad didn't always make the right choices. And I'm not saying, obviously, as parents, we know we always make mistakes, but there's a feeling as if I need to say, like, Dad may not have always been there, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. If I spoke about there being a mystery, would you understand that?
A mystery.
I'm gonna go farther. All of a sudden, I saw what looked like a person in the home and feeling like I need to recognize someone being in the home that doesn't belong to be in the home.
Yes. 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 I know
Is
what
what I'm
that is.
saying.
I
Do
know
you
what it
understand?
is.
I'm sorry?
I know what that is.
Understood. I don't know if I'm recognizing a break-in, girl.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yes, it is.
Because he's saying like talk about this in the way that you would know of this is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And then I get shown what looks like an outdoor headstone is what I'm saying. And I feel like I need to recognize this in and around a place of burial is what's taken place. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. Is that for Dad?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, why do I feel like I want to recognize John when I talk about that?
That's my brother's name, but that's not um whose it is.
I know that when I talk about the headstone, that's the moment that I want to talk about John. And John's a very common name, but it's in that miss where my brain wants to step in and make sense of it and question whether or not John was passed down and John be buried, is what I'm saying. Um, but I know that there is this need for me to make a mention. And would you understand either a Becky or Becca, Becky, that name? And no name that would sound like?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. I do feel like I'm
Bert is the
recognizing an
closest I have to it.
I'm sorry,
Bert is the closest I have to it.
Bert. Bert. And is Bert a grandfather?
No, it's my son-in-law.
Okay, understood. I get this older lady that comes forward that gives me this Becky name that's taken place.
Yeah, nothing close that I can think of anyway.
Understood. I question it may be Betty, but I know
Okay.
that she
Yes,
I know
Betty.
that I know that she gives me this I feel like even like a redder or
Yes.
like
Yep. My great
strawberry
aunt, but we
blonde
were
like hair
close.
is
Yeah.
what's going on. Do you understand that?
Yeah. It's my great aunt, but we were close, and her name's Betty. Yep.
Understood. Understood. Um, I want to give you a chance to clarify before I move on to Kennedy. Kennedy, thank you so much for your patience, sweetheart.
So the what you were getting, like that altar type thing, and the picture and all, I literally have everything downstairs. I'll take a picture and send it to you. It's all based on his military. It's got his old military picture, which is sort of colorized, just like what you're saying.
Oh, you froze.
It's got his
And
military
Dad's
picture.
been cremated?
No,
Okay, so he has been earth buried.
yeah, he's in like a military thing. That's why that comes with that. And then the newspaper thing, when you went into the newspaper thing and you were saying a firefighter, he served in Vietnam. So did my uncle who was killed. I never met him. He was killed in Vietnam. So that he was a firefighter. That was in the newspaper. That's what that was. The speaker thing, he would always call my daughter. We can't leave a message on my daughter's phone because they're filled with my dad's messages. So I'm sure that's what that was.
Oh, yeah. That makes total sense with the speaker
Nobody
thing.
can leave her a message for 5 years
Because
now.
he was showing me like
Okay.
megaphone, but telling me no, recognize it as a speaker, recognize it as a speaker.
Also, he would yell in there. He'd be like, Aaron, are you hearing this? Because, he's just being funny. And what you were saying about his throat, he had esophageal cancer and he literally just couldn't talk for a while. And when you're saying sorry for wasn't always there, he was always there, but my mom was super difficult and he would refuse to step in.
Yeah,
So he was there, but
yeah. Your mom was coming up as he was saying that, but I didn't want to separate them.
Yep, we've been going at it, my mom and I, and I'm always like, he wouldn't even, so I know why he's saying sorry about that. And then the robbery, they were robbed and it was a big mystery, and it pretty much is that my cousins did it.
I had a feeling, yeah.
Yeah,
I had a feeling that person was family.
And the tombstone was my uncle's who died in Vietnam. His tombstone was in the yard. My brother has moved it for my mom. That has to be the only thing that I could think of with that. And then they gave him a different, it's the military issue. They didn't want him to have that. They gave him a different one.
Understood. Thank you so much for
Thank you. That
clarifying.
was awesome. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Hey, by the way, with that whole, anytime I'm reading someone that works within this field, I always, like with Aisa, I was like, I'm not even bringing up mediumship during the reading, but that isn't to say that wasn't coming up. And so I feel like it's more authentic to share it off the time than during the time, to let you know it was there. It just wasn't in a way that I was wanting to talk, like piggyback off of some shit I already know. All right, Miss Kennedy, I'm coming to you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for your patience.
Oh, it's all good. All good.
All righty, hon. All right. So when I connect in with you, you get the choice of doing spirit-led or a direct mediumship as well.
Let's do spirit led.
Okay, understood. So, the moment that I heard your voice, which I haven't started the timer, but the moment that I heard your voice, I was being drawn my attention to Mom. Mom is still here?
Yes.
Okay, understood. There's an emptiness around Mom that gets highlighted to me, like as if I'm supposed to recognize Mom not with Dad is what's taken place. Do you understand that?
Correct.
Understood. And has Dad passed on?
Yes.
Okay, got you. Because I feel like he's coming forward, but it's the way that I'm being shown Mom and not like they're like the dad is missing. The dad is missing is what's going on. And in the midst of me saying that, I'm sure your father will come through. But I get this very strong personality, shorter haired grandmother that
Yeah.
pops right up in front of me is what's going on as well. Ooh, the moment that I said pops right up in front of me, she makes me feel like she's got a cold can, and it might be my alcoholic self that recognizes it as beer, but there's even a feeling around beer with it is what's taking place. Um, it's interesting because when I recognize beer, there is also a sense of Catholic nature that comes up around her. Do you understand that?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, fair enough. Um, would you understand why I'd want to talk about Catholicism? Sorry, I can never say that word.
To be honest, we weren't really religious.
That's fair enough. I want to just share this with you and then I'll move from it. There's a sense of me needing to recognize how, like, even Catholics drink beer. When I start to engage with this older female. So I just feel like there's a necessary need for me to recognize that is what's going on.
Okay.
Kennedy, for you, necklaces and rings are apparently what's important today. For you, I get drawn my attention to recognize a necklace of importance is what's going on. Do you understand that?
I do.
Understood. I feel like I may even need to tie that in with dad, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Kinda.
Understood. It's interesting because dad makes me feel like I want to say how that ties in with him in a more direct sense, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Kinda.
Understood. Would you understand why I want to make a reference to death? And I don't know that I'm speaking about that in literal terms or if it's more in a figurative type sense. But I know that dad gives me a sense around that as well as what's going on. Do you understand?
Death, yeah, but not
Nope.
like,
Not death, not TH.
oh,
DAF.
gotcha. No, I don't understand that.
Understood. If I talked about there being complications between you and dad, would you understand?
Yeah,
Understood. I can hear by your yeah that that's not the case. It either is or it wasn't, is what I'm going to say. So you don't have to make it fit. But the deaf, as I said to you, I feel like it may be more metaphorical than it be literal for himself. But there's a term that says to fall on deaf ears. And so I feel like I need to say, like, either we were talking to dad, telling dad what to do, but it's not being listened to, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
absolutely. I can take that.
Understood. When I said that, all of a sudden, that beer that was being brought up by grandmother gets highlighted to me again, is what's going on. So here's what I'm going to say to you. I don't know where the hell I'm placing this beer, but somebody got alcoholism up in spirit, is what I'm saying. Does that make any sense to you?
Absolutely.
Is that going back to that?
Yes, my dad.
Understood. Because I'm like, hold up. Grandma rolls up with the beer in the hand
Uh-huh.
again. And
Yep.
it's right after I say falling on deaf ears to dad. So she's like giving me this feeling like this is what the beer is for. um, the personality that gets thrown in here is so crazy. Um, but what I know is that there is this feeling, ooh, understood. There is this feeling of me needing to recognize the love, the connection that would have been there with dad, but the sense of disappointment that's felt is what I'm understanding as well as what's going on. If I talk about there being I believe I'm saying our name in connection with dad, do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. Is that his name?
Yes.
Thank you. Because I know that he gives it to me in wanting to recognize it directly to himself rather than just in relation with him. And you'll hear me when I get spirits recognizing names. It's like I know it's connected with them, but not sure if it be theirs. He gives it to me in the way of being in his name, is what's going on.
Absolutely.
And I feel like I want to recognize now his name may have been longer, but I want to recognize it as either like a Ron or Rod. There's like this shorter name that's being said to me. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. Can you clarify the understanding of that name?
So his name is Rodney, but he went by Rod a
Yep.
lot.
Yep. That the only reason why I said Ronald or Ron was because Rodney with the N. I was like, maybe it's because I was like, there ain't no way it's coming through that clear, but he's doing damn
Oh
good.
yeah.
That's what I'm
Oh
saying.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying as well. Um, by the way, I feel that his passing may directly relate with the drinking, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
Understood, because all of a sudden I'm being brought to what feels like the side, and I feel like I'm recognizing like liver failure or something around that is what's going on. Do you understand?
I do.
Understood. in the midst of me saying that, I feel like I need to recognize there's a feeling around a female that walks in on him, is what's going on. And I feel like she may have even found him either deceased or damn near it, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Um, I can't say yes or no because I don't know that detail.
Understood. I just know that I'm seeing a female that I want to place on mother's level. If it's not your mom, I would recognize it in the way of stepmom for you. Did your mom see dad before he passed?
No.
Understood. I feel like I'm still recognizing mom though. And here's what I'll say to you. I am recognizing a female that I want to interpret to be mom. If it not be mom, it's likely that it could have been like a partner for him or stepmom. I mean, sometimes I say stepmom and people are like, that was his girlfriend. Well, she'd still be in that line. But
Right.
I want to I want to recognize the way this female sees him, and there's a sense of shock and surpriseness that comes up, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Right. So it was a girlfriend, but I didn't know her. Yeah. So
That's okay. That's
yeah.
why I literally said to you, I was like, sometimes
Right.
I say stepmom, but it's a girlfriend, and people are like,
Right.
yeah. But
Yeah.
on that level, girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I know is the sense of just the expression of shock and awe is what I'm saying. Like the heartbreak of seeing him in that shape is what's going on. If I can't say would it be, so be patient with me on this. If I recognized something that I believe to be circular that we may have hanging in relation to father, would you understand that?
I would have to think about it.
That's okay.
Yeah, I can't.
See, the difficulty is that they show me things to be exactly as they are, and then there's those circumstances where it's like how it would be.
Right.
I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing, and you can either understand it now or shelf it and look into it. Um, but I want to talk about how he shows it to me in the way of like almost dangling from a ceiling. Um, and making me feel as if like I want to say it be a sun catcher or a dream catcher or something circular or even an ornament. Um, but something circular that would be hanging is what's going on. In the process of me saying that, I just wrote down the word ash. Is dad cremated, hun?
No.
Okay, okay, okay. So I may be recognizing something separate, but I do feel like when I'm recognizing this whole thing and then I get the word ash, I question whether or not I'm recognizing a pendant that would hold ashes, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Um, I understand a pendant holding ashes, but it's a starfish, not circle. Well, yeah,
Understood. But you would understand me needing to recognize that with you. Is that right?
with my mom.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. Uh, is that a necklace, sweetheart?
Yes.
Okay. Because the way I'm seeing it is as if it would be hanging up on something, and they're like, he's like making me feel like it's not in the like it's not on the ceiling. It's like I need to recognize it in the way of it being jewelry related as opposed to pendant or something, or I'm sorry, ornament or something of that value as what's going on. If I made a mention to a John, would you understand that?
John. Honestly, not the top of my head.
Understood. I do feel like I or I audibly hear the name John. I'm not able to recognize exactly where that be, but I know that I want to recognize it. And in the moment of me saying that, is there another K name outside of yours?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay, understood. Because I'm hearing this name that's coming to my awareness. I don't know if it's just like a non-traditional name or what's going on. But as I write, literally, I'm turning the H in Ash to a K. And they're like making me recognize
Oh Lord.
the K name, which that says ask now instead of act or ash. But anyhow, so go ahead. I'm going to give you a moment to clarify.
Gotcha. So with the whole K, so my whole family is filled with K names.
Oh, wow.
And we have everybody has pretty much the same middle name, which is Kirk, Kirk. Kind of like a maiden name that was passed down. So that's with a K.
Yeah. It's a maiden name. Yes. Girlfriend. So I got to be honest with you. I did not hear it as Kirk. I heard it as Keller and making me feel like I needed to recognize it as a last name. But he
So
was telling.
yes. So here's the thing. So so the middle name is Kirk, but the last name is Kellican. Yeah. So when I say a lot of K's, a lot of K's.
That is so wild to me. That is so wild to me.
Yes, absolutely. The Catholic thing, I'm not quite sure because to be honest with you, we're not really a religious family.
Sure.
I don't know with my grandma's side, like if her family was kind of into it. I don't really know them on my mom's side.
Okay.
We did drink, my family drinks a lot of beer. But then when kept saying when she brought it back up around my dad was an alcoholic, really severe alcoholic. And he got clean for a little while and then he was with a wife and she ended up passing away and then he really fell really deep and ended up committing suicide with the alcoholism. So I'm not quite sure. I don't know the full story on how he was found, but I do know that he was with a woman at the time. So that story is still kind of a mystery, to be honest with you. Um, and the hanging thing, the pendant thing, the only thing that I can think of right now is, like I said, my grandmother's ashes. So my grandfather had ashes when he passed away before my grandmother, and those ashes were put in a starfish. And then when my uncle passed away, some of his ashes were put in a starfish. And so when
Okay.
my grandmother passed away, so there's three people's ashes in this pendant that's a starfish, and it's on a necklace that my mom has. She's not wearing it right now, but it's in her jewelry box. So that's the only thing I can think about, like hanging pendant. I don't really have anything else. And then the John name, I'm not quite sure at all.
I definitely heard that very
Yeah.
clear, and I didn't even want to say it just because in Patty's reading it came up.
Right, right.
And so I'm
Yeah.
like, ah. Um, but it definitely came up, and I was even when I was trying to kick it, it stayed. So I know it's important. Um, Thank you so much for clarifying those details. So for those of you who are with me, I'm going to unmute or ask everyone to unmute. Hopefully I can do that for you all. Let's see.
Thank you so much for this. I really
Okay,
appreciate
good. So you guys, oh, you're so welcome. So for the Isa, I feel like I gave you like a mini reading before. Did I give you a reading before?
Yeah, it was a live reading a while back. Yeah.
Was it? Was it? So you can answer honestly in this. How much of what was recognized today was new information for you all?
100% for me.
Really?
New.
Really? That's so,
100% for me, new too.
so
And by the way, the belt buckle, it's this.
Oh my God, I fucking knew it. I should have said that. Girl, get the
You did.
Oh
said
my
belt buckle.
God.
So it's crazy. This is just a little
That's
plastic.
why I said clothing accessory, because I
You
wanted
said
to leave
belt
myself.
buckle. You said
Is
it.
that a belt buckle?
Yeah, kind of. It's a little thing that hooks on. He used to play cops and robbers with my son, and it hooks on the belt.
Listen, I saw what looked like a star, like a sheriff's star.
Yeah,
And
there is.
I know
A
that
little
lines up more than a
arrowhead.
belt buckle, is what I'm saying. Oh my God, girl. Damn it, I should have said. Just like the baseball situation with I think
Yeah.
Leah. It's just moments where you're like, I don't want to box myself up.
I do it too. I get it.
Kennedy, I believe I've given you a reading, if not two before. Is that right?
Yes, we've had two other readings, and my dad comes through every time.
Understood.
We did last reading talk about his death a little bit, so like that was the only part that was pretty much the same.
Understood. Understood. Well, I'm grateful that we were able to get the connection together today, and thank you for your honesty as well as all of you for your
Absolutely.
honesty. And I appreciate the willingness to stick and hang out even at the end. So if you guys have any questions for me at all, I'm here for that.
All I wanted to say was thank you so much. That
You're
was
so
awesome.
welcome.
You gave this whole evening to us. So thank you. Thank you.
You're
Yes,
so welcome.
thank you very much. Very, very much.
I appreciate you all so much. And I know hear me when I say this. There are times where look at me choking. There are times where I really drop the ball to recognize each of you and say thank you in its most sincere and most authentic way. And I am so selfish for that. And I just have to be honest in that. No, I am, Christy. I appreciate your kindness, but I am very, very selfish. And it's not because I'm not a selfless person. Like if you come to me and you say, hey, I need water or I need a shirt or I need money, I'm going to help you in any capacity that I can. But when I go onto the lives, I get so, even before this, I got so caught up in my nerves and anxiety that I literally had to remind myself, these people support me. They already know my authenticity. And I need to not stay focused on my need to produce or perform and just be authentic for the person I'm connected to, but more importantly, for their loved one in spirit. And the reason I share that with you all is because I get so caught up in my anxiety that I forget to ask people how they're doing. How are you? Not just how am I, but how are you? And that's the room that I want to create for you all is not just, hey, thank you for modding for me, but be here whenever you all are having, any sense of doubt or having any issues or a freaking feather showed up by you and you want to know if that's because you were down at the chicken farm or if it really could be spirit. And I'm here for you all. And I do want to create something that's more open in the sense of you guys have my phone number. You're able to reach out to me if you ever need me. So with the four of you, if you have something to write with, that's fantastic. I am going to give you, and Aisa, you need to write this too because you don't even have my real number, girl. But I'm going to give you all my real number.
Okay.
Oh shit.
My number is 636.
Hold on. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. 636
636. Okay.
328 5401.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No, thank you. So 636-328-5401. And I'm here. I'm here if you guys want to chit chat, if you want to just ask any kind of crazy, anything. I'm here for it, okay?
Okay.
Is there any other questions that any of you have before we dismiss or say good night? Till tomorrow.
I just wanted
Again,
to
thank
say
you.
Thank you.
You're
And I just
welcome.
want you to know, I feel like you're harder on yourself than you think because I've known from the very first time we've sat and done things together that I could call you if I needed to. I really did. So I hope you know that.
I know, and I feel that love and that support from you all. I truly do. Well, listen, I appreciate your gratitude for this night, but I would appreciate it even more if you'd go wash away us. Have a wonderful night.
Oh, good
you.
night. Thank
Love
you.
you.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Night.
You're so
Bye.
welcome.